Salutations and welcome, friends, to another fastest 2 minutes right here on Trust the Profits, as we are asking a special guest 5 Kentucky Derby questions, which is, of course, the fastest 2 minutes in sports. And so we have just a little bit of limited time to get the answers from our expert today. Joining me, Angela Herman. You know her from Canterbury Park. You know her from Gulfstream Park. Angela, thank you so much for joining me today. And you're ready for these 5 questions?
I'm ready, yes. I've been trying to narrow things down. There's some categories I have more answers for than others, but this is an interesting challenge, and I'm glad you asked me to do it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, let's start off with the fun one, and that is, in your opinion, the best name in the 2023 Kentucky Derby field.
Well, I think Skinner, just because of the reason that he's named that. It's a nice story. You always look for the background story of a lot of the names, and while there's some very cool ones among that, Skinner kind of tugged at my heartstrings more than others, so I'd have to give that one my favorite.
I love it. That's great. Yeah, you always do look for a good story. Obviously, everybody remembers last year with the Breeders' Cup, Cody's Wish, stories like that.
Yeah.
Really pulls at the heartstrings. I remember fading Cody's Wish from a handicapping standpoint, then watching the human interest story, and then thinking I was a complete jerk for fading that horse because it just made you just have all the feels. So, listen, one of the things we like to do here on Trust the Profits is find value for our players out there. So, in your opinion, we just got the morning line released today by Mike Battaglia. In your opinion, where do you see the best value in this Kentucky Derby field?
The best value for me is Disarm. And even though Disarm's run a lot recently, I felt that his close into King's Barn was something that nobody else was doing in the field and was enough for me to see that maybe he would want 1.25 miles more than the rest of these at this juncture. And I thought he'd be a fair price. If anywhere near 30-1 would be good enough for me.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that 30-1 morning line is a huge price, and he's a horse I know a lot of people have been saying as they've been able to see him a little bit more how much he looks like a sire gun runner out there on the track. So certainly a good omen potentially for this arm there. So listen, if we're going to find value in one place, that means there's probably a horse that's a little overhyped in another place. So in your opinion, most overhyped horse in this year's Kentucky Derby field?
Well, I'm surprised he's 10-1, but I don't think that he will be by the time they get to the gate. That's Practical Move. I think that he'll probably be in like the 7, maybe 6-1 range, I would guess. I don't know really what to expect as far as how much play he's going to get right away, but I think closer to post time, you'll see a dip on him, and I think he might be an underlay.
Yeah, I think that 10th post position is not particularly beneficial. This is a horse that has a very specific type of trip that he wants to sit a lot of times, that inside rail, kind of sitting right off the leaders. I don't know if he's going to get that from that 10th post position. Agree with you there. Listen, we're recording this on Monday, May 1st, so we're still a few days out. This is no pressure, not your official pick or anything, but as we sit here today, who is your pick for winning the 2023 Kentucky Derby?
I think I got to stick with Forte. You can't see him up close like that. Take it all in person. Really in awe, especially in the Fountain of Youth, of what he can do and how easily he can do it. He'll have to fight for it in the Derby. Obviously, there's questions to answer, but he has shown the most to me thus far. Hasn't had too many bumps along the way either to get to the Derby.
Absolutely. No, he's a horse that's answered the bell every single time, trying to become the first horse since Nyquist to be the champion 2-year-old to come back to win the Kentucky Derby. Well, listen, for every alpha, there is an omega, and that means for every winner, there is a horse that ultimately finishes in last place. So as we look at it right now, and a lot of times this is always a little bit of a fool's errand because a lot of horses get pulled up or just kind of trotted off a little bit, and they're kind of just ease up coming down the stretch. But who do you think finishes last in this year's Kentucky Derby?
I would have to guess Raise Cane unless it comes up wet. He'll be underlaid if it does come up wet, but I'm sure he's the consensus pick thus far of anybody you've talked to finish last, unless he gets very specific circumstances. But I can't see a lot happening to sway things in his favor to really make much noise.
He has been a popular answer, as well as Sun Thunder has actually been a rather popular answer for Ken McPeak to finish last as well. But yeah, Raise Cane obviously winning that very bizarre Gotham, riderless horse, sloppy conditions, 1-turn mile, all sorts of craziness for Kentucky Derby prep. So Angela, thank you so much for joining me on the fastest 2 minutes here on Trust the Profits. Make sure to press that subscribe button. Make sure to like this video, comment below with your answers to all of those questions. Angela, have a great Derby day, and until next time, it's now post time.